Q-man accused of blasphemy in Bauchi. On page 30, Super Eagles drop 8 places in latest FIFA ranking. On page 17, cyclist jailed for slapping seasoned gun from policeman in Jos. Moving on to the Nation newspaper right now, where we have the story of the Kano Emirate Torso saying court nullifies Sanusi's return as Emir of Kano. And the government is saying verdict is in Sanusi's favor. And also we have the writer that says Nasarawa Palace, where Bayero is, to be demolished. Abiodun allocates farmlands to Ogun lawmakers to enhance food security. That story is on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. Court avoids 33 Ondo LCDAs. A writer to the story says judgment anti-people. That story is on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. This is an explanation on page 4 coming from the IG of police saying why I faulted police recruitment. That story is right there. Moving on finally to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, where we have the story of the cholera death toll in bold on page 2, where we have the explanation coming from Lagos saying Lagos Island, Koshofe, Etiosa record highest numbers of the cholera outbreak. Epidemiologist warns against use of carbonated drink seasoning for treatment. And federal government begins water quality analysis to control outbreak. And also alongside all the writers to that story. Court sets aside law deployed to dethrone Emir Bayero. And on page 12, Southwest governments arrive at 8-point resolution to boost food production. Sanu Nasu give federal government 2 weeks to pay 4 months withheld salaries, threaten to shut down varsities. That is on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. At that point, that is where we get to start discussing. But before then, this story on page 5 says federal government pushes for 18-month extension of $800 million World Bank palliative scheme. That is on page 5 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. Good morning, Maestro. You're welcome to the studio this morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome. Okay, I want us to go straight to Kano State. That may be far, but we are going there. So Kano State right now, since yesterday, when it came back from court, the court already ruled that the Governor Yusuff's action of May 23 was null and void, and also ruling affirmed Bayero's deposition. And we also have some people saying the judge's decisions are strange and confusing. We do not understand which one are we going, which way are we going concerning these emirship thing. Verdict in Sanusi's favor or not, because we still have the fact that they are saying Bayero's palace, where he's staying right now in Nasarawa, is to be demolished. So what is going on?
That part of it has nothing to do with the ruling. That's you're witnessing the state government might coming into play. So it also tells you it's going to be a long haul. The state government appears determined that that emir is gone. So pending the time, and you see that they have indicated they will go and appeal. So pending the time of the appeal, they are giving the signal that they would not allow him to parade himself in Kano State as emir. So in the meantime, they are going to demolish the place, which means he will have to go home for now. That's what's on ground. So eventually the case might go to the highest court in the land for to get to our final stop, which is very unfortunate. This shouldn't be happening at all.
But then some people are confused about the fact that, okay, you are saying that whatever it is that the Governor Yusuff, actually went out of the court order saying they should maintain the status quo, and then brought back Sanusi and impeached Ado Bayero. And then some people are also saying, okay, what is going to... People are confused concerning the ruling.
You see, people are always confused, which is it's not out of place for people to be confused. But it's a legal issue on the one hand, and it's only lawyers who would be able to make a sense of what's actually going on. But more importantly, after the lawyers have tried to explain from different sides, the law court will eventually say this is going to be the situation, beyond which nobody could do anything in the meantime. I have a strong belief that a hunch, not belief, that the state government might prevail at the end of the day, because they are working with an act of a law made by the National Assembly. It's been signed into law. That redress inside of Kano State in the Emirate has been done. So it depends on how the courts will be looking at it. And the issues are going to get wiser than they are right now. By the time they push on to the Court of Appeal, things might get a little bit stiffer than they are right now.
All right, then, let us go to the story where we have protesters demanding former Governor El-Rufai's trial for alleged 423 billion naira theft. And we knew that when this came from the assembly, we had El-Rufai saying whatever it is that they brought out, he doesn't know where they are bringing it from. But watching videos of these protesters yesterday, according to them, in court again, they are demanding the arrest of El-Rufai and them for him to be probed.
Well, the point is, if a Nigerian that understands Nigeria very well will know that this is politics at play. People don't go protesting that a former governor be probed and so on and so forth. It's not something that you witness. So this is politics playing out. And so let's be very clear about that. And I'm no fan of El-Rufai. Anybody who knows that I'm not his fan. But it doesn't stop us from being clear-eyed about what we're talking about. This one, where ordinary people, regular everyday people are on the streets protesting that a governor be arrested and probed. That's politics. So, and I think it's coming from the man's, he has projected his intention to play a prominent role going forward when the election cycle concludes. I think he wants to be president, and I think he's making such moves, causing some ripples in his party, and so maybe this is a way of taking care of business. Sometimes you kill them before they grow. Politics is a very vicious thing, and since everybody is in this pool, nobody is dry. And so at the end of the day, he is insisting that, he didn't do anything wrong, so let them go to court. And I believe that some way, somehow, they are going to end up in court. But this is just for the optics. The crowd saying, probe him, arrest him, everything. That's politics. That's to create an optics, which says the people of Kaduna State are accusing him. But the truth is, everything is still in the realm of allegation until the court says, okay, El-Rufai, you actually did it.
Okay, right now it seems we actually have another looming strike in our varsities, because now we have the Joint Action Committee of Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions. And also we have the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities, giving the federal government 2 weeks to pay the 4-month withheld salaries, or else they are going to go on strike. They say that the only language the federal government understands is a strike action, because we've seen that in labor unions too. And also,
it doesn't pain me so much that it's the only language federal government understands. Like, it pains me that these people don't have any other instrument they work with, unfortunately, and that they have not even attempted to look at, is it possible to do it, some other way and so on. So we are stuck with this. This is the instrument they use. So the federal government has received notice. There's a notification that in 2 weeks flat, if you don't pay up, we'll go on strike. So, but what they always do is they will do something before those 2 weeks.
Really?
They won't reply for a week. And midway into the second week of the ultimatum, they might invite some people for a meeting and start talking. But
the talk will extend.
Yeah, a little bit until those guys get furious and go on strike eventually. And in the middle of the strike, it becomes a serious business, and then maybe they will pay something. It's a well-beaten route. This is something that we have been witnessing for a long time, and it's really tiring.
All right. So before we talk about the fact that is strike actually a very good instrument to use, because in your state right now we have the midwives. They are still on strike a month later, and nothing is still going on. Let's go pay some bills or back. We'll pick the conversation from there.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
I wanna be as strong as Captain Amazing. I need amazing day cereal, that is what I'll be. I've got strong bones, sharp eyes. I'm an amazing day, so that's right. I'm an amazing day cereal, that is who I am.
Now tell me what you need.
Amazing day cereal.
Golden Penny Amazing Day Cereal. Nurture them for the future.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí aláboyún, ó ṣe pàtàkì kí n tọ́jú ara mi kí n sì wà ní ìlera pípé.
Kí ìwọ àtoyún inú ẹ lè wà ní ìlera tó péye. Máa lo oògùn ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ní áyọ̀nù nínú àti folic acid lójoojúmọ́ lákòókò tó bá lóyún. Eléyìí ń dènà àìtó ẹ̀jẹ̀ nínú oyún, yóò sì jẹ́ kóyún wà lálàáfíà. Fún ìlera pípé, ẹ máa yọjú sí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ìlera yín fún ìtọ́jú oyún nígbà tó yẹ. Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣeṣẹ́ ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
No matter waiting, I show you, you show me love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You show me, you show me, you show me love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock last.
My baby is 6 months old.
Oh my! 6 months old? Wow!
Now your baby needs more than breast milk. It's time to introduce mashed meals. In addition to breast milk, begin to give your baby mashed meals that contain at least one item from each of these 5 food groups: eggs, fish or meat, fruits and vegetables, oils, beans, groundnuts, soya or millet, rice, potato, maize or yam. From 6 months. In addition to breast milk, your baby needs this combination of food types to grow healthy. This message is from the ANRIN Project or your State Ministry of Health.
5 Alive Poppy. So much pulp. So many ways to pulp it. He gulps it. She chews it. He slurps it. Filled with pulp in every bowl, everyone pulps it their way. So, how do you pulp it?
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
All right, you're welcome back. This is still the dailies. In case you're just joining us, you should note that you can also watch us live on Facebook at Agidigbo 887 FM. Yes, before we come down to your state concerning the strike action of nurses and midwives, talking about ASU, SANU, federal government, this thing will still bounce back on students, where it seems these people are not even paying much attention, but we'll be having students spending more time than they are supposed to in schools just because the federal government and these people, they cannot reach an agreement.
It's something that runs on,
Mm.
which is why I'm always trying as much as possible not to look at it within. Let's look at this thing holistically.
Mm.
You have strikes almost all over the place.
Mm.
These nurses and midwives that you're talking about, I must have covered this strike, especially here in this state, since 90s, so many times. So the way I'm going to be looking at it is probably going to be different from the way a pub reporter today is going to be looking at it, because I know it's gone on for too long. And it's the same thing with ASU strike. It's the same thing with students unrest. It's the same thing with this one. It's the same thing with resident doctors. It's the same thing with NLC. So how do you simply carry on with this kind of things that you've been pulling for as long as you've been in existence? I ask myself, how does it feel for somebody in high office to sit down and you've seen these things long before you got into that office, and now you are in that office, it goes on, and you are going to hand it over
like that
to whoever succeeds you like that, and you walk away. This is how the irresponsibility of the Nigerian public office holder is underlined. This is how it is emphasized, that you're comfortable with all the problems you met long before you got to that office. You've seen the problems. When you got inside that office, you live with the problems, and when you're done in that office, you pass the baton and you walk into your sunset. I don't know if there's anything that is more irresponsible than that, in high office. And I have always said there's a solution to most of these things, and that solution is what the Nigerian politician must buy into seriously. Whether you are from any part, north, south, east, west, you have to buy into restructuring, because you know what is going to happen as soon as you restructure this system. There will be very, very scanty units saying they are striking against the federal government. Things will be broken into splinters. Where we should be heavily invested in the private sector, let it be. Where the state governments should take responsibility, let it be. But right today, you see 80% of anybody saying they're going on strike is against the federal government. The remaining against state government, which admittedly is, quite few and far between. But it happens. How many times have you seen anybody saying they are going on strike in the organized private sector? So, ASU, for instance, will go on strike. It's against federal government. But where do you see in the advanced economies where teachers wake up, lecturers wake up and say, we are not satisfied with how government is treating us, so we are going on strike? Because most of those schools don't even belong to government. And look, if we have to advance, we must essentially look at what the advanced economies are doing. Otherwise, we are just paying lip service to this advancement that we often talk about. If we are not looking at those who advanced and how they are handling their affairs, I don't suppose we seriously want to advance.
All right, and we still have a statement from ASU saying that governors have turned universities into constituency projects, and saying that both the federal and state government, from what it perceives as the politicization of education, particularly through the proliferation of public universities, while neglecting the funding needs of existing ones.
Well, the ASU is pressing for funding.
Yes.
Yes. But they are not pressing for the right kind of, government in the tertiary institutions, which means these things will go away from governments. And that autonomy will come to different universities. So if you are not satisfied now, it's going to be against your university.
Yeah.
It's not going to be against government. But they don't like that. They don't like that. You see, there is something that we should be checking. NLC would not like the fact that, okay, you have 1,000+ ghost workers, get rid of them. Okay, let's audit staff.
Nah.
Let's bring it down so that it's only... Look at the number of people we have inside the studio here. We are functioning. Look at the number of people in the engineering and so on. Go and check out a government system like this one.
Bloated.
So what are we saying? And it's everywhere. We don't want to focus.
It's 7 a.m. on Agidigbo 88.7 FM.
All right.
We don't want to focus on any other thing that does not benefit us. We want all the benefits. But we don't want to get serious about this. The essential mechanism that will give us peace of mind. And that efficacy that we so much desire.
All right, so that will bring us now to Oyo State, where we have the story that says 1 month after Oyo nurses and midwives are still on strike, we have the Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives saying their demands include mass recruitment, adoption and implementation of some agreements they've signed since, uniform allowance, and also talking about promotion and other things. They said it has been a month now, but still, although the government had sought applications for recruitment of medical personnel because of all these things they have yearned for, but still, how long will it take to conclude recruitment where they're supposed to have 20 nurses and midwives working? They have about 2. And we know the importance of these people in hospitals, and nurses and midwives. I mean, so they said, even the people that are working out, they are tired of working for that long.
I don't know how that calls for a strike. I understand if for instance, you require something like uniform allowance and so on. I understand that. If you talk about promotions, that's understandable. Because promotion will bring you more benefits, make you more comfortable. But if you are striking because you don't have enough, workers, I find it, I've been thinking about that and I don't understand it. Excuse me. Is it because government does not want to employ more people? Or because
people do not want to work?
You are just flowing out of the country. Nurses are flowing out of the country because they are in high demand. So even if the government recruits 2,000 tomorrow, they will be gone before you say Jack Robinson. Because there is a high demand for them out there. So I don't suppose, I think that is something that their representatives and government should sit down and map out a strategy over, not to go on strike. Because what do you suppose government would do?
And they said they are overwhelmed.
Yes, and I understand that because it is true. If you go to those places, you will see nurses who are supposed to have, gone on a break, still carrying on with another shift, rolling it over. I've seen that in many places. So that's not a joke. It is true. But that part of the problem is, I don't suppose, is the fault of government. And the other part that appears to be the fault of government should be tackled head on so that they could return to work and then sit down to find a creative way to solve the problem together. Because you can't just go on the streets and be hooking, jacking people in to come and become nurses. People have to go through the process. What is the percentage of nurses that we turn out, yearly? And how many of them are going straight into the private sector, how many of them are getting out of the country as soon as possible? These are questions that we need to be able to answer.
Okay, then let us go to the story where the Southwest governments have arrived at 8-point resolutions to boost food production in Nigeria. And that is where we have the commissioners of agriculture in the 6 states of the Southwest. That is where they already arrived at 8 ways to boost food production in the zone. According to them, we have them. They are called the Development Agenda for Western Nigeria. That is Dawn Commission. They convened yesterday, and also among their resolutions were the fact that they would embark on a massive land clearing, a large-scale production, and things like that. They also identified the need to strengthen farm security by creating specialized units within the Amotekun Corps to revitalize moribund dams for irrigation and all those kind of stuff. Among others, expanding input distribution and establishing an electronic agricultural database. These agri-commissioners are expected to forward the recommendations to their governors to look at mode of implementation. What do you think about this?
I think well about it. It's something that, since before this this crop of governors came into office in the Southwest, we have been, at the vanguard of that advocacy that we need to do something different, concerning agriculture and so on in the Southwest. That we have everything we need to make a go of it. But for a very long time, nobody was appeared to be listening. And I think, people should seriously applaud the Dawn Commission. It's done a great job. And I think, they must be picking a strong cue from what it had been able to put together. I, however, would appeal that this drive should not be towards boosting food production. It must not be towards boosting food production.
Then what?
I don't know if that's a reportorial thing or if that's what they actually said. What is required here is not to boost food production. What is required here is to go on massive agriculture initiative in the Southwest of Nigeria. That's what we need to do. They need to, yes, boost food production, arable, whatever it is they want to back, heavy mechanized, but they need to also look at how could we earn a few billions of dollars when this thing begins to yield. So if we're talking about food production, that's good because we need to supply our own beef. We must not be looking beyond the borders of the Southwest to eat beef. And everything else that we could eat, fish, poultry, and so on and so forth. Those things must be done from here. We need our own groceries from here. As a matter of fact, we need to be exporting groceries. After we've taken everything we need to be able to export. We need to be able to can tomatoes, can pepper, can everything. We need to be able to do all these things without stepping outside, of the borders of the Southwest. So it's a great initiative, but I hope they will be more expansive than just boosting food production.
Okay, then let us go to Ondo State, where we had an Ondo State High Court in Akure yesterday scrapping the 33 LCDAs created by the administration of late former Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, saying that they were unlawfully created because they were signed by the late Akeredolu in Ibadan, Oyo State here, outside of Ondo State, which is not supposed to happen unless there is maybe a state of emergency or unrest or something like that in this state. Now we have the ex-deputy governor Ajayi saying that this judgment is anti-people, because if we look at it, they said a former governor in Lagos State, which is now our president, did something like that, creation of more LCDs.
Did you sign it outside of Lagos State?
So that is the argument they are bringing, that
well,
they were needed.
Well, you see, I think the judgment is very clear.
Mm.
If that is the kernel of that judgment,
yes,
that it should have been signed.
That is it.
On the soil of Ondo State, and which makes it illegal. I don't know. That's what the judge said. It doesn't even make sense to me. But if that's the law, that's the law. And I don't think they should be drawing comparisons between what was done in Ondo State and what was done in Lagos State. Nobody said they signed it outside of the borders of Lagos State. So it's not the same thing. So what they need to do is to go and do it properly, sign it inside Ondo State. And then, in any case, these things, the one that was properly done in Lagos State, where is it? They've not been able to they've remained LCDAs. They've not been able to become functional local governments, which was the intention. But it lies inchoate in the Senate. All the Senate needs to do is to just say, okay, ratified. Because it was perfectly done. But you have this ethno-religious politics everywhere in this country. So they're wondering, how would you go and give Lagos State 57 local governments? What will be the implications of that? It's far-fetching. So Lagos State government will now begin to take money for 57 local governments. Then you will also need to do something about its own allocations when it comes to how many House of Reps members and so on and so forth. There are implications people don't want to face. So they would rather have the status quo. And I'm saying that because of the question you asked the other time about state creation. That's what makes it very difficult. You can't even create local governments, let alone states.
All right. Yesterday, we have a news coming saying that the Army acquires their own surveillance helicopters. Authorities of the Nigerian Army yesterday took stock of its own 2 new helicopters with the aim of strengthening its counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency operations in the different war theaters across the country.
Yeah, that sounds good. The more sophisticated and the better for the Nigerian Army, and then that boosts its capacity to function. It's good, and we'll be looking forward to results.
So what they can do with that?
Yes.
All right then. Let us move on to another story right here. But before then, let us make is it like an announcement now or an update that Oba Kulenya has begun his traditional rites to become the Olubadan of Ilebadan, the 43rd. Yes. So that has started. And we're moving on.
And I'm very happy that at last, we're moving on, and that the traditional rites are being observed. That's very key, very important. That makes it it's very serious Yoruba Oba because of the rites. That's very important.
Separating culture from religion,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Okay then. All right, so let us move on to this story saying that yes, we've talked about the LCDA scrapping, and yes, this is another story saying that federal government orders 50 fighter jets as terrorists to occupy Kainji. I hope I'm pronouncing that well. So
yes, Kainji, yes.
Kainji. So that is a move from federal government so that we can better fight terrorism in Nigeria. That's a great move, I guess.
Well, 50 fighter jets, not massive. They only know why we require that many.
50.
50, that's a lot. And we also need to, gain understanding about the capacity of such fighter jets, what category they belong to, what generation. because these things are done in generations, and it's very important to know precisely if you're acquiring the right things at the right time. Or, don't forget that we got super tucanos during the Buhari administration at very heavy cost.
They're still there.
And the super tucanos come with very serious capacity. They could almost hit targets from anywhere. I guess that's why they are called super. They don't even have to be overhead to hit their targets. And so if we had something like that, going further to acquire 50 jet fighters, it sounds odd to me. It sounds odd when we are not on a full-scale war with
full-blown war,
any kind of foreign adversary. We're dealing with these the terrorists on the soil of our country, which is why I said security experts would understand what 50 jets means at this time. Apart from that, you also have to realize that these things are not lined up on the stall for people to go and buy 50. So you can only order it and then they start putting it together for you over the years. So before we would take full delivery of this 50, I imagine it might probably, be beyond the lifespan of this administration. Even if he spends 8 years in office, the 50 might still not come in.
Okay, then let's go pay some bills. When we're back, we'll pick up the conversation from Rivers State, where Governor Fubara is still insisting on the fact that there is no crisis in the state. We'll be back.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
Big mommy, add that bokoto we go senior school, put 2 roundabout, anoint the package with that slim thick shaki and
Uncle, no vex o. Which teeth you wan use eat all this orishi? That your teeth will be like where motor jam truck. E no dey worry you again.
That one na before. All thanks to the new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection.
That's right. The new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste gives you complete oral protection with fluoride and antibacterial zinc to keep your teeth strong, prevent tooth holes, and fight bacteria.
Please have to go buy my own new Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection toothpaste.
Close-Up Complete Fresh Protection for your important oral care needs. Available in a blue gel.
Ó yá gbà ọmọ mi ọ̀wọ́n.
Mami, fi mílìkì sí ni.
Kò di dandan, ìwọ tó wò ná.
Báwo lẹ ṣe ṣe?
Ǹjẹ́ mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye?
Ní gidi gan.
Ṣé ọ̀rá wàrà inú ẹ̀ ṣàn tó?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy nìyẹn o. Mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye. Mi ò nílò láti ṣàfikún mílìkì sí.
Mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ màámi.
Fún àwọn ọmọ rẹ ní Milo 3-in-1 milky àti creamy tuntun, mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye, ó kún fún káṣíọ̀mù láti ran àwọn ọmọ rẹ lọ́wọ́ láti yege lójoojúmọ́. Milo, agbára láti tẹ̀síwájú.
Milo. No matter waiting, I show you, you show me love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You show me, you show me, you show me love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock last.
My baby is 6 months old. Oh my! 6 months old? Wow! Now your baby needs more than breast milk. It's time to introduce mashed meals. In addition to breast milk, begin to give your baby mashed meals that contain at least 1 item from each of these 5 food groups: eggs, fish or meat, fruits and vegetables, oils, beans, groundnuts, soya or millet, rice, potato, maize or yam from 6 months. In addition to breast milk, your baby needs this combination of food types to grow healthy. This message is from the Anrin Project or your State Ministry of Health.
Madam, you don't try this new Lush Hair 4-in-1 no-lie relaxer kit. We get free neutralizing shampoo and conditioner join.
What? Me, I no deal.
You not even sabi wetin dey happen for town. You see this Lush Hair relaxer so?
E no dey pepper, e no dey burn. E go even make your hair shine like oil.
Na so, Lush Hair relaxer kit na correct. We no go make your hair cut. We no go make your hair dry. E no dey pepper and e dey relax hair well. Shikini time. Come buy your own.
Lush Hair. Be beautiful.
Ọmọ mi ti pọ̀ṣù mẹ́fà, ẹ bá mi dúpẹ́. Oṣù mẹ́fà, ẹ bá mi dúpẹ́.
Ó ti yá pọ̀ṣù mẹ́fà nìyẹn. Ọmọ ò máa ń pẹ́ dàgbà o. Báyìí o, ọmọ rẹ ti wá nílò ju omi ọyàn nìkan lọ o. Àkókò ti tó láti máa fún un ní oúnjẹ fífọ́. Ní àfikún sí ọyàn, rí i dájú pé àwọn oúnjẹ ọmọ rẹ ní ó kéré tán ọ̀kan lára àwọn oúnjẹ àfọ́pọ̀ márùn-ún wọ̀nyí. Ẹyin, ẹja tàbí ẹran, èso àti ewébẹ̀, epo tàbí òróró, ẹ̀wà, ẹ̀pà tàbí sóyà, ìrẹsì, ọ̀dùnkún, àgbàdo tàbí iṣu. Ọmọ rẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti oṣù mẹ́fà nílò omi ọyàn àtàwọn oúnjẹ wọ̀nyí fún ìdàgbàsókè àti ìlera. Máa fún wọn lọ́yàn títí yóò fi pé ọmọ ọdún 2 àti jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ.
Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣeṣẹ́ ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
All right, you're welcome back. This is still the dailies. Let us move to Rivers State, where a few days ago, I think on Tuesday, there was a clash in Port Harcourt, the state capital, over the tenure of the local government council chairman, which resulted in the death of a police officer and also another citizen. And for that, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, yesterday said the officers, they've been there for about 2 days now, and yesterday restated that the officers will remain at the Rivers State Local Government Secretariat until the court rules on local government chairman tenure extension crisis in the state. But then we have the governor of Rivers State acting as if all is well, saying that there is no crisis in Rivers State and everything is still going on well. Even though the new caretaker chairman that he sworn in, they were not allowed entrance.
No, they wouldn't be allowed entrance. And he's, saying all the things he should be saying.
As a governor.
Yeah, as the governor, because, of course, he's scared. He increased the probability of state of emergency being declared in that state. And the moment that happens, he doesn't know where it went. It's happened before. In this Southwest, where Chief Obasanjo drafted a retired military officer to go and take over a state. So it's not, he knows that, but he's probably finished doing it before realizing that, he took a wrong turn.
Hey.
You cannot say all is well after people died. So all is not well. But I agree with him, to a large extent that Rivers State is not in a turmoil, as reporters gleefully decided to use banner headlines. Because you're talking about just about 1, 2, 3 of 20-something local governments.
23.
So it wasn't a headline that made a lot of sense. But then we would still, like I said, have to now wait for the court. The police do its duty, ensure that nobody takes the law into their hands. Neither the local government chairman, whose tenure already expired, nor the governor, who would not call an election, but will rather draft people to go and take over from local government chairman. See, what the governor is responsible for these things. It's very funny when people begin to talk about Wike and all that. Yes, they are having a conflict. But, intelligence must be part of our everyday conversation. So if this governor, for instance, 2 months ago, said this is the timetable for local government election, would we be here? We would not be here. We would have been talking about who won, who lost local government elections.
Exactly.
We would have been able to see, outside of the realm of violence, who is who. On ground, Fubara has cleaned all the local governments. People have to be able to hold on to something. But pointedly, you refused to seize that initiative because you wanted to appoint people, and that makes it difficult when even through these unserious elections, you just put people there. When we still have these terrible elections, it's bad enough. Now look at it when you now say, okay, you guys take over this place. So what will be happening?
We're not going to have any election
what
at
will be
all.
happening to the funds then? The usual, but worse. So he should, as this thing goes on, he should let the timetable for local government elections come out. It's going to dazzle tension.
Because that is one of the major causes of what
Let's hold elections. That's what democracy dictates.
All right, then, let us come down to the issue of the cholera outbreak that is now in about 30 states, among the 36 states we have in Nigeria. And yes, on Tuesday, the World Health Organization, the United Nations Children's Fund, and the International Organization for Migration held an emergency meeting in Lagos over the cholera outbreak in the country, because Lagos has recorded 401 cases. Right now, seems things are getting serious. Yesterday, the Federal Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation said it has initiated a water quality analysis following the outbreak of cholera in 30 states. I think that's to tell people to be careful right now because things are getting serious. Any advice for people on that?
Well, yes, people should. We should all watch what we ingest, especially concerning water this time. We should, take that seriously. We should also pay our attention to the kids who are in schools. We should do that. But I believe that state governments should also begin to push towards making certain things available in abundance. That is treatment, because it's serious and deadly. But if you had immediate treatment, most of the time it's not fatal. So I think that should be the case as we are pushing towards preventing it from happening at all. We should, at the other end, also be able to make prompt treatment available, because it's when it takes a long time that it becomes deadly. Having said that, we should by now be looking at what caused it, where is it coming from, what precisely. So you can carry out some investigation scientifically to know, where this thing is coming from and the pattern of the spread and so on and so forth, so that you could stop it in its tracks instead of just leaving it to run until it gets tired, which will be at a heavy cost. So this is what is done in other countries in the world. When you have something like an epidemic, you try to apply certain scientific principles to investigate and see how the thing started and the trajectory and what's empowering it and how it could be tackled.
Because it seems seasonal. Sometimes people say, "Oh, there's a cholera outbreak." Okay.
No, it shouldn't be, because we have we've taken a lot of preventive steps in the past through inoculations and all that, and so it was horrible when I was a kid. In this country, you could still find songs played, recorded in its wake. They called it Onigbameji that time. A cholera outbreak in this country was crazy then, and I won't say it's seasonal. It's been largely curtailed. We've not seen this level of alert for a very long time, for many years. This is about the highest since then. I still have the mark of the vaccines, and people my age and thereabouts, took it when it used to be these machines that look injections that looked like gun, with very big needles.
Yeah.
And so when you were injected, you certainly fall sick. Some of it, would reach your bone, and some will become sore, and so on and so forth. But I think the vaccine is much better today. And maybe some people want to sell us some vaccines too. You can't absolutely trust these people with their.
But then should that not take us back to sanitation, proper hygiene?
It does. But you see, when you're a third world country, you're most likely living in poverty, and poverty begets this kind of thing. You see, the truth is when you look around, in childhood, there was water. There was pipe-borne water in this country. In your school, in your home, everywhere you went, you had pipe-borne water. Today, everywhere you turn, you don't have. Unless you create it in your house by digging a well or by doing the borehole.
Yes.
And so, what about all those who don't, have and they need to ration seriously? And in Lagos, you need to ration. You need to ration a lot, especially in certain places.
Some people normally cooking with
Lagos
bottled water.
Is really seriously condensed. You have a heavy population in Lagos. So it's the perfect condition for this kind of thing to fester. And it has to be sorted out, not strictly by medical means, but we have to find creative ways of solving these problems. And I've always said it. You have to decongest places like Lagos, like Port Harcourt, like Warri, like Kano. You have to decongest.
Is it possible?
Yes, it's quite possible. As a matter of fact, it's easy. What you need to do is to have this fast and safe means of transportation, like your subways, like your fast trains, and so you can live anywhere. You can live in Ikire and be working in Lagos. So you wake up in the morning, you won't run late.
In Nigeria?
Yes.
Maestro, we are talking about Nigeria.
What makes it impossible? The only thing that stands between us and this kind of life is that, you see, you and I, we are not represented where it matters most. We are not represented in the assemblies where they are supposed to be representing us. And we're also not represented in the boardrooms.
Well, we have representatives.
We have, but they are not representing us. And the reason they are not representing us is because mostly we did not take them there. They know how they get there.
But we voted.
Yeah. You think so. But the leadership processing system is so corrupt. And that's what I've always said, that it has to be treated. If you vote, it's okay. To every one honest vote, you'll have about 50 dishonest ones. Either stolen, padded, smuggled, or paid for. In fact, all those ones are paid for. And so when people begin to pay heavily to get into public offices, they must make gains on their investments. Because it becomes investments. And so, but there is something that makes it possible for you to be able to bring that much money into a leadership processing system to corrupt the system. So you know why they don't respect you a lot.
All right, it's about time we allow people to join in the conversation this morning. And yes, I'll reel out the phone lines, and I'm very sure, or should I say, I'm expecting us to be well acquainted with our rules that we set out a few days ago. And that is the fact that when you call, you have a minute flat And also, please let us talk about the stories treated only. And while we are talking about those stories, let us ensure that there is no attack on persons. We are treating the stories themselves. Also, let us be civil because this is radio. It is not everything that you can say on radio because it is not social media. It is radio. You can drop your comment on our Facebook page and also call in. But before then, let's listen to this.
Thank you for your attention. It's been lovely to have you keeping it locked on Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Now is the time to join in the conversation, to have the word, hear your voice, because we are the people's voice. Meanwhile, while you contribute to this program, kindly note that in accordance with broadcasting ethics, you are requested to keep your contributions modest, truthful, concise, and not offensive, inflammatory, or with tendencies to cause discomfort to anyone. Thank you. Now, let the conversation begin.
All right, 0704 1001 887. 0704 1001 887. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning, Mr. Maestro.
Good morning.
God bless you, sir.
Thank you.
This is Amaba Aruaditula from Liberty Road.
Okay, sir, your
Maestro said it all. We are not well represented in the National Assembly. He are there for himself, for the family. God bless Nigeria.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. 0704 1001 887 or +234 704 700 8873. Those are the phone lines to call to join in the conversation this morning. And you can also drop your comment on our Facebook page at Agidigbo 887. We will read the comment and also we will pick calls for you to join in the conversation. Picking up comment from our Facebook page, but let's pick this call first. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to
Madam
you.
Wuraola Yusuff
Thank you.
and Mr. Maestro. My name is Chief Ayodele Adebayo, calling from Ikolaba.
All right.
In terms of House of Reps, when they are canvassing for vote, people have taken a lot from them. Even I'm not a politician and I will never be. They've taken a lot and they will have to get their money back. That is exactly what is happening. I do vote anytime, but I cannot ask kobo or a cup of rice from anybody during the voting time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. Rich Abbas says you need to know how much is budgeted for water resources and supply. Year in, year out, massive funds are being allocated, yet same ordinary water for man to drink for town. In no day. Why cholera no go ravage Nigeria? Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Maestro.
Good morning, sir.
The laws of the country are weak.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
I'm from Kuleti. Baba Maestro.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ekujameta. Once we have our laws in order, everything will be okay.
All right.
Everything will be okay. When there are laws for offenders of electoral offenses, there will be no problem.
Okay.
Which are then.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. Adebayo Job Olauti says, this is an advice on cholera outbreak, talking about treating water, eating food, and thereabouts. It's quite lengthy, but it is advice for people. All right. We also have this comment saying the Nigerian struggle has been mischaracterized from the beginning as a pro-democracy one. All right. I do not see how that comment is relevant to whatever it is we have discussed this morning. Kolakwo Oluwaseyi says the governor of Fubara hasn't done anything out of our world. 5% of Nigeria local government are run by caretakers. Any comment on that, Maestro?
You know, the point is you take issues out of context. You have people killed in this instance. There's problem inside of Rivers State, not anywhere where it is being done peacefully. So what do you now do? You say, because, okay, it's been done 85%. I don't know where you even got the percentage to start with, which is wrong. But then let's assume that you're right. So you kill people, and then we say, so what you do is you lionize governors to apply violence when it's suitable to you and to the governor. But when you don't like it, then you become an activist against violence by governors. Isn't that interesting?
All right. Idris Adisa says, why is Maestro of the opinion that the Kano Emir case might favor Sanusi? So far, it has been in the favor of Adobairo. You know that there were cases against Sanusi before he was dethroned, and he was in Kano at the time. Now, in the case of Adobairo, no offense is actually staged against him, and he was not even in town. And if you check the history of dethronement, especially in Kano and in North, an emir must be in town and be dethroned and banished to a particular town, and that is a tradition. I stand to be corrected.
Well, I don't know if my hunch, that's what I called it, if you understand what I mean by hunch. You know, that's very important for you to understand. So it is not, definite that he's going to remain the emir. It's called hunch. You know, and apart from that, I don't know if the state government, I said the state government is exercising its powers.
Yes.
As we see in this country. And I don't know if the state government requires you to commit an offense before they restructure, the royal system. I don't know. The courts will determine that.
All right. Hello, good morning. All right, we lost that call. You can call back at 070410018887 or +234 704 7008873. Adexi on the Facebook page says, with the level of inhumane actions and maladministration performed by El-Rufai, there is no way the citizens will not protest against him. So the issue of being political is baseless.
So in how many other states have you seen that kind of protest? Or they are saints. The governors who governed in all the other places, they are saints. You say there's no way they won't do it against El-Rufai.
Mr. Stevenson says a mass movement of medical personnel out of the country is the fault of the federal government because they failed to do the needful. No one goes where he is tolerated, but where he is celebrated. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Mr. Maestro, I really appreciate you very much because I don't see you.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
Olawu is speaking of Olawu. I don't see you as an analyst, but I see you as a solutionist and a servant. Well learned. And apart from that,
your point, sir.
Yes, you are highly appreciated. Okay. Concerning the political office holders, I know you are fully correct that they are.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. Please, if you can, do well to call back and we will pick up 070410018887 or +234 704 7008873. John Akirili says the protest in Kaduna is a well-deserved one. And he also said cholera outbreak is another means by which our leaders chop money. All right. 070410018887 or +234 704 7008873. Please, when you place your call through and we pick it up, ensure that you are addressing the issue.
And people also have to understand, Wura, that we are teaching as we go on. If you say the protests in Kaduna is a well-deserved one, you're far ahead of the court. This man, these are allegations. Nobody has criticized El-Rufai more harshly than I have done. I don't like his style. I don't like his politics. I don't like his ethno-religious politics. There are a lot of things but you see, you have to be clear-eyed about everything. Before you will say, oh, El-Rufai deserves to be, protested against like this. Is it the courts that said so, that he stole money? Because this is allegation of about 400 billion, I think. And so it has to be said that, okay, you stole it. Before you now say, all right, that's well deserved. Come on.
Hello, good morning. Hello. When you put your call through, ensure that you're far away from your radio set or it is totally off. We have a comment on Facebook page about let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
Afolabi from Manhattan.
Your contribution, sir.
Sir, as Nigeria goes on, I just want to say the way the analyst, MAESTRO is analyzed, I don't enjoy it. Don't go to straight to the point.
All right, that is your perspective. Thank you so much for sharing it. Adewumi Shegun says, on Kano judgment, I think it is appropriate that it is appropriate judgment because at the beginning it was the removal of Sanusi was political. 2, on strike, though I don't support constant strike in universities, but because of our children, but government too are supposed to have paid part of their salaries to them as did for the lecturers. On Rivers State, the best thing to be quickly done is to do local government election and for all parties to participate instead of appointing caretaker members. Kazim Olawale says, on Kano, let us call a spade a spade. Many already know the desperate political leaders that want to gain control and forcefully take over everywhere, just as Rivers, and these must stop. Let's go pay some bills when we're back. We'll pick more calls and then we continue the conversation in the studio. We'll be back.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
No matter waiting, I show you, you show me love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You show me, you show me, you show me love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock last.
Ó yá gbà ọmọ mi ọ̀wọ́n.
Mami, fi mílìkì sí ni.
Kò di dandan, ìwọ tó wò ná.
Báwo lẹ ṣe ṣe?
Ǹjẹ́ mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye?
Ní gidi gan.
Ṣé ọ̀rá wàrà inú ẹ̀ ṣàn tó?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy nìyẹn o. Mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye. Mi ò nílò láti ṣàfikún mílìkì sí.
Mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ̀ màámi.
Fún àwọn ọmọ rẹ ní Milo 3-in-1 milky àti creamy tuntun, mílìkì inú ẹ̀ péye, ó kún fún calcium láti ran àwọn ọmọ rẹ lọ́wọ́ láti yege lójoojúmọ́. Milo, agbára láti tẹ̀síwájú.
Milo! 5 Alive Poppy. So much pop. So many ways to pop it. He gulps it. She chews it. He slurps it. Feel the pulp in every gulp. Everyone pops it their way. So, how do you pop it?
I am pregnant. It is important for me to take care of myself and stay healthy.
To be strong and have a healthy pregnancy, take iron and folic acid tablets every day when you're pregnant. This prevents anemia and helps maintain a healthy pregnancy. Visit your healthcare provider for regular antenatal care. This message is from the ANRIN Project or your state's Ministry of Health.
We can protect your car, your savings.
Let's not make it boring. Let's make insurance a lifestyle. If you've ever wished your insurance offered you more, then you're in good hands with Hares Insurance Group. In addition to our extensive insurance coverage, you can also enjoy free benefits such as networking opportunities, up to 10% discount on hotels, gyms, spas, and your favorite stores, tickets to exclusive events, and free resources to plan your future. So, next time someone asks you, what does your insurance company give you, sir? Your answer should be with Hares Insurance Group. Definitely much more than insurance.
To enjoy all these, sign up on www.hairsinsurancegroup.com. That is HEIRS. Hares Insurance Group. Simple life is here.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
All right, please let us know that when we call in, it is not for us to do an assessment on the presenter or the analyst. It is for us to address the issue, the topic that we've talked about this morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Maestro.
All right, your name and where you're calling from?
I'm about Aro Adikla, Nibato Rosmo.
Okay.
Lecturers. This government don't have any interest in education. Ask me why. How can we spend 90 billion on Hajj, 75 billion on building a car park, another 35 billion for car park again? We cannot even give the lecturers just 60 billion naira only for education of our children. This is how wickedness. God bless Nigeria.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution. Idris Adisa says, thank you for shedding more light on this. It is good to learn. In the case of Governor Fubara, he is still learning politics. Rivers' political issues is totally compromised by PDP, APC, and some powerful individuals all making cases for their interest. Governor Fubara should learn more about politics. Former Governor Fayoshe warned them by joking during former Governor Wike's valedictory service. Don't be surprised if state of emergency is finally declared. All right, 0704 1001 887. And I can already see hashtag I stand with Sanusi on the Facebook page right now.
You see, the truth is, we're displaying our limitations when you say the removal of Adobairo is political. Which removal is not political? Since the beginning of time. And I remember telling people on this program about how the Odemo of Ishara was paid just a penny.
Yeah, back then.
Who pays a royalty a penny? That's what politicians do. When we had, the creation of Obas in Oyo State, was it not done by politicians? Was it not political? As a matter of fact, when Sanusi was removed, was it because Sanusi did anything? It was because, it was a political removal. So when you now restrict this one to, it's political, that's exhibiting your limitation.
All right, 0704 1001 887. 0704 1001 887. Or +234 704 700 8873. Those are the phone lines to call to join in the conversation this morning. And yes, let us speak the story that is talking about some in Bauchi. A mob lynches a man for alleged blasphemy. We are still on this. We're still on this side.
It's very sad. Really sad, because a human life, shouldn't be, treated so cheaply. There's no way in this world anybody will say you are sitting in judgment over a human life, and that pleases God. I don't know how that works. I understand that God Almighty is the judge over lives.
Exactly.
And he will take it when he wants, because he gave it when he wants. This one is a sad one, but it is more because, it is condoned in parts of the country. You remember how that girl was stoned to death?
Deborah.
Yes, Deborah was murdered in cold blood. Sometimes you see people come out online to say, some other people should be killed. And this is the point where, law enforcement should be very serious. But you see, law enforcement has its limitations in the face, of religious substance. In certain places where you have that kind of religious substance density, law enforcement becomes very weak, because that density becomes the law in such places.
All right, then I think it's about time we leave, but I think we can still pick just a call, and maybe 0704 1001 887 or +234 704 700 8873. Those are the phone lines to call to go through to join in the conversation this morning. And I'm guessing that is about the calls that will be taken this morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma.
Good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from? Pastor.
Good morning.
All right, your contribution. I was about to say, Pastor.
I want to talk about cholera outbreak in Lagos.
All right, sir.
Until we address the issue of open defecation, there are a lot of homeless Lagosians. I spent 3 years of my life on the street in Lagos. I know what is happening. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution. Maestro, your parting shot for today.
I feel really, really let down by that death in Bauchi. And I think anybody who has any kind of power in this country should reflect on their powers and what the use they put it.
All right, then this is where we get to draw the curtain on the dailies for this week. Join us again next week, Monday, for us to talk about our great nation, Nigeria, with, of course, a Maestro in the studio. My name is Wuraola Yusuff, and this is me telling you to have a very nice weekend. Just for us to come back on Monday to talk about our great nation, Nigeria. Nigeria, it shall be great. Let us all work together towards that success.